Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Pratiwi Tiani Rachmita. I am from PBI3. In this material, I want to answer the question from Miss Lenny. The first question is, please mention and explain briefly the components of communication process. There have six components. The first is context. Context have a three part, and the first, every communication process with context, and the second, this context may be physical, social, chronological, or culture, and the last, the sender chooses the message to communicate within context. Number two is about sender or encoder. The sender or encoder is a person who send the message, and sender or encoder also have two part. And the first, the sender or an encoder, person who send the message. And okay, number two, from component of communication process, sender or encoder. Sender or encoder have a two part, and the first is the sender or encoder is a person who sends the message, and the two, a sender makes use of symbols or words or graphic or visual aids to convey the message and produce the required response. Sender may be an individual or a group or an organization. And component number three is message have a three part, and there is message is a key idea that the sender wants to communicate. Number two, communication process begins with deciding about the message to be conveyed, and the last, it must be ensure that the main objective of the message is clear. And component number four is about medium. Medium have a two part. There is have medium is used to exchange or transmit the message, and the second, the sender must choose an appropriate medium for transmitting the message. Message might not be conveyed to the desired recipient. The choice of appropriate medium of communication is essential for making the message effective and correctly interpreted by the recipient. Okay, component number five, receive or decoder. Receive or decoder have two part. There is recipient or decoder is a person from whom the message is intended or aimed or targeted. And number two, the degree which message the decoder can understand is dependent upon various factors such as knowledge of recipient, their responsiveness to the message, and the reliance of encoder on decoder. And the last from component is feedback. Feedback have a two part. There is feedback is the main component of communication process, as the permits the sender to analyze efficiency of the message. The last is the help the sender in confirming the correct interpretation of message by the decoder. The question number two is, why do humans need a language? In my opinion, why human need a language is because language allow us to share our ideas, talk and feeling with others. If they don't use language to signal or communicate, it will be difficult to know or understand each other. So when we are not to know to use language, we cannot like communicate or expression about our what our mean. And the question number 3 is please give your opinion about the period Dutch period, Japanese period, and independent period of English teaching in Indonesia. Which one do you think the best English teaching period? In my opinion, I choose the independent period because the best English teaching from textbooks began to appear in English Indonesian dictionary were gradually available. The teacher also were getting better as they were graduate from the so-called BI course. So the Central Inspectorate of the English Instruction paved the way to improve TEFL in Indonesian. Okay, number 4 from a question is, in your opinion, what is the status of English compared to Indonesia nowadays? In my opinion, because English is the second official language in the country of Indonesia, or as the country's official second language, of course, this can be used as the language of instruction in education and in the workplace more frequently, giving Indonesian more opportunities to develop their communication skills so that they can be more competitive in the global market and also know about knowledge from another countries or can to know information for global. And the last question is about please explain briefly about the functions of English Indonesian. The answer have a six answer or six part. The first is economics and business. Why? Because the USA position as the world's number one economy exerts a pull on global business. And the two is international relation. Because English is one of the official language of the United Nations and other key international bodies. And the third, the media or the world of current information and popular culture is a significant proportion, 57% of the world's newspapers are published in countries where English has a special status. And the fourth, education. Why? Because a large proportion of the scientific papers published in all subjects are in English, not in paper but in the website, internet. They are used with use English language. So that Indonesian need for to know or learn about English language or TEFL. And then number 5 is communication. Why? Because much of the world's communication are done in English, and 18% of the world's electronic stored information is in English. And the last is about international travel and safety. English is the language used for navigation at sea and for air traffic control. And then international travel and safety is about also like is important or is really about the guide. When we are want to traveling in another country, we are need a guide, and guide so much to understand the English language, because the safety and the international travel need use the English language. So I think enough from my explanation or my answer. This my opinion. And then I think that's all. Sorry if I have mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.